Okay, sponsored swim and a fun run. Okay, for the local school fund and the local hospice. 20 students did the sponsored swim. Okay, so there's going to be a fun run coming up some other time. These are results of every student who did the sponsored swim. Complete the stem and leaf diagram. There must be a key, and it says 3, and then a line 4 represents 34. So 34 is, I put a 4 here. When I do it, you need to put it in order. So I put 4 there. So I've got 0 would go there, and then 9 would go at the end. And I try and put them into order at the same time. 32, so 2 goes in the middle of there. 40, 0 right against the 4. 38, so an 8 towards the end of the 3 row. 52, 25, 45, 62, 21, leave space for 20 if I need to, 42, 41, 53, a bit after that, 48 towards the end of the 4 row, 28, 60 right at the beginning of the 6th row, 45 next to the other 45, 36, 43, 57 and 34 next to the other 34. Marvellous. 3 marks. If you don't put them in order, you'll lose a mark. The median number, well, is 20, so the middle one would actually be between the 10th one and the 11th value, right in there, between the 10th and 11th. If these were in order, I'd have 10 across the top, and then the next 10 there, and it would be just after the 10th one, but before the 11th one. So which one is it? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's halfway between the 10th and 11th. It's there, so it's 41.5. Of course, if you want to do it the other way, you could do the crossing out method, where you cross out the lowest and the highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, highest, lowest, highest, and it leaves us with 41 and 42, so it's 41.5. What fraction completed fewer than 40 lengths? Well, how many of those were there? I'm going to do it in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because that one, 40, is not fewer than 40. So it's 8 out of 20. That would give me my 1 mark, but it says in its simplest form, so that is 4 out of 10. I can go further than that, 2/5. Can't go any further than that, so that's that one done. And now I can move on to part B and start looking at the fun run. Go back to blue. Fun run, I've got an estimate for the mean. Well, the reason it's an estimate is because I'm saying it's 18 of them got between 15 and 20. So there's one who got between 15 and 20, and another one which got 15 and 20, and another one, and a whole lot of those, but I can't add up all those numbers and divide by how many there are. So what I do is I take the midpoint. And the midpoint of that would be 17.5. The midpoint of 20 to 25 will be 22.5. Then we get 27.5. Then we got 32.5, and finally 37.5. They're the midpoints. It's quite nice. It's given me another column here. It's a bit of a clue, and I want to have an FX column, which is the frequency times by the value. Because what this actually means, it means I've got 18 of these numbers, somewhere between 15 and 20. We're saying that they're about 17.5, so I got 18 17.5s, so I do 18 times by 17.5, and that's 315. I've got 34 22.5s, that's 765. 32 27.5s, that's 880. 26 32.5s is 845. And finally, 10 37.5s is obviously 375. Now what I need to do is I need to work out the mean, or an estimate of the mean. So I add up all the values. So I've got all these 18 17.5s, which we know comes to 315. And that's this column here. So I need to add up those to get the total. And that will be 3180. I've got to divide it by how many there are. There's 18 15 to 20s. And then there's 34 20 to 25s. So what I have to do is the total frequency. So I add up those, and that comes to 120. And so my mean, as usual, it's a total divided by how many, and the total is 3180. How many there are is 120, and that gives me 26.5. Just want to check that it does seem reasonable. 26.5 is just into this group here, and that seems about right. Okay, what's the last bits now? That's what they earned for the things. The 20 people who did the sponsor swim did very well. Write the ratio from swim to the amounts raised in the fun run in its simplest form. So ratio, so I've got swim to fun run. The amounts raised, that's 650 and that's 1250. So ratios, to put the two colon between them. That divide top and bottom, or both sides, by 10, 65 to 125. And then 5 goes into both of them, so divide both of them by 5. Gives me 13 to 25, and I can't go any further than that, so it's 13 to 25. And finally, we've got to do total amount raised is split, divided by the school fund and the local hospice. So I've got fund and local hospice, and that's in the ratio of 2 to 3. I always like having a total column as well. Total of that will be 5. And now I decide where I want to put in the total amount. I need the total amounts. And the total amount of that is 1900. Just 650 plus 1250. So total is 1900. And I've got to work out what each share is worth. So I'm going to do 1900 divide by 5, which is 380. So each share is worth 380. So what I'm doing is I'm timesing it by 380. What's the question asked for? The amount given to the local hospice. So that's this one here. I've got to times that by 380. 3 shares, 380 each, and that gives me 1140. And that will be my answer for the last parts. Try and get it so I finish with everything showing more or less there, and that's question 3 done.